Right now, across the world, millions of Christians are quietly, systematically destroying their own faith. And the most dangerous part is how normal it feels. You likely still pray, read the Word, and attend church. Yet, despite those spiritual habits, your life remains unchanged, a sign that something deeper is working against you. The quiet, subtle habits you've stopped questioning pose the greatest threat to your faith. Because these things are silent, they don't raise alarms until the damage is already done. Just as you can build godly habits, you can also develop a lifestyle that mirrors the nature of the enemy. Allowing these behaviors to persist means you are no longer standing still. You are caught in an invisible drift that pulls you further from God with every passing day. This drift begins in your silent reactions. It's the satisfaction you feel when a peer fails, or the unexplainable discomfort that hits you when someone else is honored. This internal jealousy stands in direct opposition to God's nature. God is love, and love rejoices in the truth, rather than celebrating destruction or feeling threatened by another's growth. When you allow this internal compromise to fester, it manifests as a strategic shift in handling truth. You begin to embrace the habit of deception. This deception involves the strategic adjustment of truth, withholding details to ensure you come out on top. As honesty becomes flexible, your conscience weakens, justifying your words until wrong actions feel like acceptable choices. Living a life where the truth is optional means you have adopted the nature of the father of lies. You are building your future on a foundation of deception. To shield these compromises, many believers construct a defensive wall of pride. This pride manifests as a quiet, stubborn refusal to accept correction. You hear the truth, but your immediate instinct is to defend your position rather than examine your heart. God uses His Word, His Spirit, and the people around you as a system of realignment. Correction is the primary mechanism He uses to protect you from your own blind spots. The moment you become unreachable to correction, the drift becomes your permanent trajectory. By cutting off the very thing meant to guide you, you ensure your own eventual collapse. A drifting believer inevitably brings that same instability into their community through the fourth habit, creating division through conversation. Framed as venting, the spirit behind it is gossip, information shared to erode trust. The enemy targets unity because a divided community is fragile. Once trust is broken, everything else becomes easy to destroy. This leads to the final, most lethal stage of the drift, testing God through deliberate disobedience. In this stage, you know exactly what God expects, yet you choose the opposite. You move forward with your own will while citing God's forgiveness as a safety net for your rebellion. This level of calculation treats the holiness of God as something that can be bypassed. It is a deliberate choice to ignore His commands while expecting His favor. Biblical grace provides the power to change, not a license to continue in sin. Treating it as a permission slip means you have stepped across a fatal line. Walking in God's light requires you to release the hidden darkness you've been protecting. These two states cannot coexist in the same heart without eventually stalling your spiritual growth. Scripture describes God's truth as living and active. It is designed to cut through our justifications and reveal our actual intentions. Exposure in God's hands is an act of guidance. He reveals these patterns to bring you back into alignment, ensuring your life reflects His nature rather than the enemy's. When you are faced with the truth of your drift, you must choose. Will you surrender to the change God is asking for, or will you find a new way to excuse your behavior? Lean into this conviction. Stop defending the subtle compromises that have shaped your direction, and actively invite God to search your heart today. God is calling you into a life of total transformation. If you are ready to stop the drift and walk in His light, comment, "Lord, I choose change," and commit to a life of integrity.